Yes, everyone. Welcome once again to another episode 8 of the rival show, Southview's Quiz. Welcome to the show with myself and one and only Mr. Ashmatic in the house. We've got a good show lined up for you tonight. We've got some great guests coming on the show from the likes of Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool. We are working on some technical issues at the moment in trying to get them on, but they will be on very, very soon. Ash, as we stated earlier on, top of the league, mate. Top of the league. It's been a great week.
Yeah,
Dizzy heights, looking down at every other club. You know, it's looking good.
yeah. Boy, like I said, man, I'm feeling a bit ill because I'm not used to this altitude, man. I got a little bit of altitude sickness. Nose is bleeding, head's hurting. So, but may long it continue, man. I could get used to it after a while. Big Ange, I'm here for that football. So let's bring it on, man. Bring it on. I'm trying to big up my chest a little bit more these days.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, going to work these days, it's a doddle, isn't it? Like, because well, you're Teflon, aren't you? When you're top of the league, it's Teflon. But
Yeah.
having said that, I've been getting chat this week, Ash. I've been getting chat, and that chat's been, you haven't really faced anyone yet, though. You've not played anyone of note,
Boy.
and I'm just thinking to myself, okay, cool. So we've played Man United, we've played Liverpool, we've played Arsenal. I would say we've played a fair few of the big guns, right?
Mm.
I mean, do you think it's justified other fans saying that,
Listen, you can say the same about them. You can say the same about Man City. You can say about Arsenal. Apparently, Arsenal were saying we were going to struggle against Fulham. Look what happened there. They drew against 10-man Fulham 2-2. And we managed to just wipe the floor with them. Not wipe the floor, but we managed to beat them comfortably 2-0, I would say. Last 10 minutes, iffy, but the majority of the game, would say about 70% of the game, dealt with them. And we dealt with them proper. Do you know what I'm saying? So,
and that's the difference. They struggled with 10 men.
yeah.
Fulham had 10 men. They had Calvin Bassey sent off when they played Arsenal. And talking about Calvin Bassey, by the way, I thought it was a man of the match performance for us because he was so poor.
No,
He kept on giving the ball away. His defensive errors, pretty much led to our goals. The pressing.
when you got a left footer playing, when you got a left footer playing at right back, you're always going to have problems because the first touch, they're literally trying to put it on their good foot. And that's what kind of slows it down. And then before you know it, we're able to press them on their first touch. And before you know it, like we've got the ball in our possession. And that's what happened time and time again. Do you know what I mean? That's what led to both goals, I thought. Goldberg pressing, and also doggy pressing. And we kind of capitalized on that and we managed to get the goals from there. So yeah, may you know what? It's all about preparation. And this is how we do it. We're a team where we kind of press high. We force mistakes, and it seems to be working from us. It's not the only way we score goals, but it's one of the many ways that we break teams down from playing out the back. So,
But that's encouraging for me because, before it was so one-dimensional, passing the ball around, looking for openings, and we was getting nowhere.
yeah,
Now we've got more than one way to skin a cat. We're pressing, we're forcing the error of the opposition, and then we're capitalizing on the errors as well. So, for me, it's great that Angie's finding all these new ways now to get goals. The only thing,
I was gonna say that Ange is the first. I think he's one of the first managers in this league to get as many points as he has. He's beaten Gus.
only manager in Premier League history to start a season with 23 points on the board from 9 games.
Exactly.
Only manager ever. For me, look, he's got 2 Manager of the Month award. And we all thought after the first one, Ash, I know you thought the same as well, was thinking, do you know what? This is cursed. Whenever we get that August Manager of the Month,
Yeah,
it just goes south real quick.
exactly.
And then my man went ahead and just scooped the second one. Do you think he can do the unthinkable and get that third one in a row?
Yeah. Yeah, well, I know what. Why?
Oh, I said it. He said it.
What? What's what? What against Palace? You talk about Palace, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, look, Palace is the last game in October, right?
Why not?
So if he wins that one, technically, and chat as well, chat, get involved. What do you guys think? If he wins the Palace game, right? Do you reckon he's nailed on for that manager of the month again?
The way I see it, look, they haven't got Elise, they haven't got Eze, so their threat going forwards is not the same as it would have been. I know they're at home, but we took care of them when they were at home last season. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, true. And we didn't play good football either.
No, we didn't, but we dispatched them 3-1. And so we're not playing particularly well at the moment, but we're still getting the W's. Do you know what I'm saying? So as long as we keep winning,
You never know with old Woy though. Old Woy.
Yeah, he might try to do the low block and stink it out, whatnot. But yeah, man, the way we're playing, the way Madison and Son are linking up at the moment, it's like the new Kane and Son link up. Do you know what I'm saying? So for me, I just think may long it continues. As long as Madison keeps dropping in that midfield, finding little pockets, he's hard to pick up as it is. He's looking like signing of the season, in my opinion, as well. Because a lot of people,
I think he is. Because I remember. Do you remember when we were saying we was going through who do you reckon like is the signing of the season and stuff, and we were saying like Sobersley and all that. But I think Madison surpassed Sobersley now because
he has. We're being polite. We're being polite. To be fair,
we're being polite. We were because do you know what? It was going to seem like we was being biased towards Madison and stuff. But don't get me wrong, Sobersley is a great player. He's a great player. But what Madison's first of all, he's justified that price tag like tenfold for me.
Yeah.
He's had probably, if you amount it across all the games that we've played, he's had a goal contribution per every game.
Yeah.
Literally, if you spread it out. That is mental.
Yeah, it has.
That is mental. Like, you know, the importance of Madison in his team for me is just like, is unthinkable. Like, it's just so important. And I think now we're going to get to a stage where we're going to have to try and nurse him. Like, you know,
it's a stage where we need to back the team, back the guys in January. Do you know what I'm saying? Levy's got to get his checkbook and back Ange all the way, man. In my opinion, if we're gonna have to push on.
I think it's got to be someone ready made though. If you want to like for like, I think it's got to be someone good to go. Like Madison come in, and you know he was like he was playing there for years. Like he's been there for like 20 years.
Yeah,
you know. So for me, it's got to be someone that's ready to go. We can't like for this season.
It's hard though because you can't like someone that's on Madison's level. How do you drop that out and then put them in? If that makes sense, it's going to be hard because they're going to want to play that regular first team football. So you've got a conundrum, haven't you? Really, Madison's got. It's like dropping Son. You can't really. People want a lot of the fan base says, "Oh, we need a centre forward in the January window because we need to replace Kane," right? But do you really drop Son on this form? Equally, we do need to replace Son at some point because he's 31 and he's going to be 32 by the end of the season. So it's like a double gilt sword. You know, like what do you guys think in the comments as well about the whole Son issue, replacing him? Is Son a stopgap? Is Madison, is he irreplaceable? Is he undroppable like Kane now? Are we in a situation where I'm like,
and this is the thing though, this is the thing, right? You're saying it's hard, like, because there's no one else like him. But we went through this whole thing when Kane was here.
Yeah.
When Kane was here, the excuse was, yeah, but we can't find anyone that's as good as him, or we can't find anyone that's going to challenge him.
Yeah.
But and then we was always saying, you know, there's players out there. You just need to like, you know, spend a bit of money and get the player in.
Yeah.
So I don't want us to go back to that old conundrum of, you know, he can't be replaced. We can't buy anyone because there's no one like him or whatever. It's just you got to drop a few bags to secure, like, you know, to secure the players.
No, it's true. I agree, man. I think so as well, man. But yeah, we got to do the job against Palace. Definitely, I agree, man. We definitely got to get them done. We definitely got to put them away because they're not a team where Chelsea now will be a different talking point.
Oh yeah, 100%.
If you don't beat those winnable games, then it's like a backward step, if that makes sense. So
I would have rather played Chelsea like beginning of the season,
right,
like within the first 5 games, because their form was so bad during those games. I've got no doubt we would have pumped them. And if we played them like third game, fourth game or something,
yeah,
I think we would have pumped them easy.
yeah.
But now they're looking like a different proposition. Like Poch is sorting out that defense. Modric has started to, sort of find his feet, and Sterling's playing well. And Cole Palmer as well looks like a really good signing. He's going to be a really good signing. So for me, it's going to be a difficult game against Chelsea. But Chelsea aside, how important do you think, considering it's only the 12th game? 12th? What am I on about? It's going to be the 10th.
10th game.
Considering it's only the 10th game,
Mm-hmm.
how important is this game against Crystal Palace? How important do you rate it?
Every game's important, to be fair. Every game. And I think that's how Ange is approaching it. He's taking a game at a time. He's not thinking too far ahead. I know us fans are looking towards the Chelsea game a lot, and we're debating about Wolves, etc., and then talking about December and the Man City game and blah, blah, blah. But I honestly think with Big Ange, he's taking a game at a time. So he's just focusing on the Palace game. And then after the Palace game, we've got 10 days to kind of rest ourselves, refocus, and then prepare for the next game, which is Chelsea, which is a massive game that we have at home. Do you know what I'm saying? Against yours truly, Maurizio Poch. Do you know what I'm saying? So the way we have one game a week has benefited us. Obviously, this week we're playing 2 games in 1 week, but we have to kind of get used to this. We have to kind of get used to this, because if we're going to be in cup competitions, then we might as well get used to it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Right. So, Ash,
yes,
I'm going to leave you for 2 seconds. I'll be back, but I'll leave you to take lead for a second, and I'll be back.
That's why we sort out those technical issues. Do it, bro. Do it. Yeah. So, guys in the comments, man, we're just having a few technicals. I've got guests coming in, but for whatever reasons can't sort it. But just reading the comments, I'm going to bring them up right now. So I want to big up to JJ there. JJ saying Angie's flying. I agree. Bringing up, so JJ says, I think Madden has got all the games to play. He's got to play all of them. Spot on. And then also he says, I think Matters. He says, I know there's potential issues for ex-Celtic Jota, but to me, he is Madders' Sonny hybrid. Personally, Pedro Neto, I think, is better, but being greedy and greasy, I want both, and they're ready now. Do you think, though, like, because I always ask this question, what does it mean to be backed? Do you know what I'm saying? What does that mean for, like, Spurs fans? Is Ange being backed if, because he doesn't really work with a massive budget. Like, you see wherever he goes, he works with what he has, and he kind of just gets on with it, and he likes fixing. That's what he said on record. So if we don't get like a massive signing like Pedro Neto, I can't see him going for less than something like 70 mil or plus, because there's going to be more than one club coming in for him. Do you know what I mean? So you're on. I got you. Can you hear me? Jake, yeah, you can hear me, yeah? Cool, man. So you can hear me, yeah? Oh, he's gone again. He's back again. Connection. Yeah, so I'll just carry on as you're sorting yourself out. I was just saying, like, basically, realistically, as a Spurs fan, can we expect Levy to drop all that money? I think he's our biggest op right now. Not Liverpool, not Chelsea, not Man United. I feel like that guy there, Levy, if we're gonna do something serious, then we need Levy to go full flank, because we can see that there's a little drop off between our first 11, and then when Maddison and Son comes off, that's when we kind of fall down a bit. But yeah, I want to bring in my guests, because we've got the guests here now. So I want to bring on Ash, Chinks, and Jay. We've got obviously Chinks, we said before, is an Arsenal fan. We've got Ash, who's a United fan, and we've got Jay at the top, who is a Chelsea fan as well. So yeah, Hass is back. How you feeling, Hass? You back? You good?
I'm back. Just like Tottenham Hotspur and Ange Ball. Guys. Lovely to have you back, obviously, again. Few technical issues, but you're all here. So what I'm going to get you to do, again, reintroduce yourselves. Chat. Welcome Ashley to the show. Manchester United fan. Ashley, tell us a bit about yourself.
Yeah, Ashley, United fan. As you can see, I'm wearing the old school top. As I said before we got cut off, this is the only thing I'm hanging on to at the moment. The glory days. And yeah, so far, I'm trying to be optimistic about our season, but it's not looking good at the moment. But yeah, hopefully the players can start kicking on at some point. But yeah, the last 3 games we won. I'm now going into this. We're now going into the City game. Do I feel confident? I don't. But it's a derby. We could possibly get something out of it, and yeah, hopefully the players step up for that as well.
Great stuff. Great stuff. Jay, we've got Jay in the house. Jay, you're a Chelsea fan. Tell us a bit about yourself and welcome to the show.
Yeah. No, I've been a Chelsea fan for a very long time now. But luckily, I got to see everything before the Roman era. So all the success that I've seen, it's been a joy to watch. It made it all the more sweeter. But yeah, obviously we're going through a little transition now. So for rival fans, this is a very exciting time for them. Like, I know these last couple of years has been fun to watch for them. But yeah, I'm hoping that Poch kind of gets us back on the right track. So
great stuff. Great. Yeah, we're going to get into that. We're going to get into it.
What team do sport? What, Chelsea? Fuck Chelsea.
Again.
Chelsea shit. Yeah. Fuck Chelsea. What?
Fuck you.
Fuck Chelsea.
Fuck you.
Fuck Chelsea. Pussy or what? Say something. Fuck Chelsea. Fuck Chelsea.
You know what? That Spurs Chelsea game is going to be sweet. That Spurs and Chelsea game is going to be sweet.
I can't wait.
You know what?
I can't wait for it.
They need to be put down a notch. You know what I'm saying? Look at them.
I can't wait.
The hate is real already,
Listen,
Man, you went to get outside. Come, what's going on, man?
no, listen. I'm going to give you your props. I think you lot have played. I think Ange's come in and he's done excellent. Do you know what I'm saying? It's not hard to, lose the best striker in the world. Last season you looked at some of your players like Pedro Porro. Romero looks like a different player. You know what I'm saying? Pedro Porro looks like a different player. So he's come in and he's, galvanized the team, and you lot are looking really good. Madison's coming and he looks like he's been there for years. He looks, he looks like he's been there for years. Like he was made for it. He was made for the biggest stage, and it's all looking good for you lot.
It is at the moment. It's not looking too bad. Like I said, we're top of the league. We're doing well, but it's important not to sort of, we risk like sort of getting too ahead of ourselves at the moment. We're top of the league, fantastic.
Enjoy it.
Well, yeah, exactly. You have to enjoy the moment.
It's not going to be there for long. Enjoy it. It's not. Listen, City haven't even. Let's keep it real. City haven't started yet.
Yeah, no facts.
Like they're still around the corner. And when Rodri comes back, I don't know when he comes back. It's different. Do you know what I'm saying?
Ash, you told me he was a United supporter.
I mean, I don't even know anymore.
All right. Okay. Cool.
No, listen. Listen. After listen.
I'm not allowed to be honest.
I'm being honest, but listen, I'm giving you your props in it. Like right now, United, there's not much for us to really gloat about at the moment. There's not really much for us to talk about. So, but we're going to be in and around. Come mid.
Still going.
Look at this.
That's fantastic. That's brilliant. Chinks, bit quiet over there. We didn't introduce you. Chinks, you've been on the show a few times before. Always good to have you back. You have one of the most balanced views when it comes to Arsenal and Tottenham and the rivalries. How are you?
I'm all right, man. Thanks for having me again, man. And I love that you said balance because I hate some of our fan base. I hate it. It's so deluded.
Nice.
That's what.
Like, we have them too. We have them too.
No, but just seeing how you lot are, like the way you're managing being top at the moment. I wish we had the composure last season because some of the predictions I was hearing early on was just embarrassing, man.
You know what? It would be hypocritical of us because we were like to you lot, calm down.
Yeah.
It's only
exactly.
Calm down. It's only February. Calm down. It's only so for us to go like in October, the end of October, we're winning the league. Like we're gonna be in it. Blah blah blah. It'll be mad hypocritical. So I think that's why most Spurs fans are, and also we've got the history of being. I never want to say it. But no, I can't say. So I'm stopping that. I'm trying to get out of my mind right now. So I hear you, my broski. I hear you.
So funny. Sorry, go on, Ash.
No, I was going to say, what do we think? Should we get him on? Should we get him on, guys?
You want some controversy and some views?
Should we get him on?
You have
It's too early. It's too early to get him on.
It's too early.
I don't mind. Me, I don't mind.
What does the chat think? Shall we get him on chat?
All right, if we get 5 yeses in the
I don't know. This is my first time. I don't know who he is, man. Like,
yeah, I'm going on YouTube to type yes myself now. Yeah.
Right, we get 5 yeses in the chat. 5 yeses in the chat. We'll bring on Mr. Box Office.
Oh.
It's not hard. Let's do it. Anyway, Mr. Box Office, welcome to the show. Guys, obviously Tottenham sitting on top of the league. It's been an indifferent start for Chelsea this season. We all knew that it was going to be a transitional couple of years for you guys. You know, you bought so many players over the last season, and integrating them into the team. It's meant that you guys sort of conceded a lot of games. You conceded a lot of games. There's no two ways about it, you know. But it does look like there's a little mini sort of resurgence going on. Like the team is starting to gel. You can see the players are sort of starting to communicate with each other. You've got Modric, who's started to find a bit of form, and the defense is being shored up as well. Has your expectations for the season changed over the last 9 games?
So my expectations from you lot can hear me clearly, yeah?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Cool. Yeah. So my expectations from the start of the season was Champions League football anyway. Like I didn't care about last season, if I'm being honest. As a Chelsea fan, I've explained this to a lot of fans before, but as a Chelsea fan, if there's any team that you would back coming off the back of a really bad season and trying to leap straight back into like getting into top 4 or winning a trophy or whatever, the only team that really and truly shown that they can do that is Chelsea. Nobody else really does it. United tried to do it and it didn't really work out for them. They've been struggling since, if we're being honest. I think Arsenal tried to bounce back very quickly. They're going on 20 years without a title. Like Spurs ain't never won a title. Like Chelsea are the only team. And it's not even shots.
It's facts. It's factual.
I'm not sending shots. I'm just saying. Chelsea are the only team that, in the midst of all this chaos and all this stuff that happens, we can go win a Europa. We can go win a Champions League. We can go and win a league after coming 10th. Do you know what I mean? Like we do this, bro. Like Chelsea fans are used to it. So a lot of Chelsea fans, when you hear that they're optimistic about this season, that's mainly why, if I'm being honest. The only thing I'll say about this season is that all that happened under a completely different owner. And that is really and truly the biggest difference between everything that happened before and now, is that Todd Bowley's coming with this new kind of he's coming with this new kind of direction where we've spent a lot of money, yes, but have we spent it on proven players? No. Have we spent it on players that we can kind of put our hat on and say he's definitely going to kind of drag us through the mud? Not really. We've got a couple. We've got like a Sterling or Thiago Silva's been a great signing for us. Who else? But that wasn't even under Todd. That's
Enzo as well. Oh yeah, yeah. When you put it that way,
Thiago wasn't even under Todd. That's the maddest thing. So it's like I'm struggling to even tell you players that are like experienced players that Todd has actually signed. I don't.
Your midfield is good though. Your midfield trio
the
is
team
very good.
The team is very good though. Like what he's done over the last, I'd say, since from Jan. I'd say that he kind of got his act together with the regime in terms of the sporting directors. The direction looked a little bit more clearer. It still didn't look clear to rivals because all it looked like was just that we were just buying players, and I get that we were. if we're keeping it 100, Chelsea just been buying. But they've also, in one whole year, they've got rid of 20, and they've brought in 20. So what we've basically done is we've done what a lot of teams would normally do over 3 or 4 seasons, and that's why it looks ridiculous because we've done it over 18 months. That's why it just looks ridiculous. That's the only difference to what most teams have done. Because Arteta, I think, spent like 700 million, or not 700, like 500 million, give or take, something like that.
I think so.
United has spent, how much have United spent in about 3 seasons?
Oh,
Probably close to $1 billion.
Billion.
yeah.
How much has City spent? So we have spent a ridiculous amount of money in 18 months, but I don't think our plan in the future is to go and spend another $1 billion. Do you get what I'm saying? I think it's literally they wanted to get the best talents and see if they can create a team that can go on to dominate for years to come.
And this is the thing, Jay. Chelsea's taken a different approach now as well. So that's obviously going to, the change of philosophy. I think before, you guys under Abramovich has always been just spend money, replace players like for like, and not much sort of development going on. But right now, what I'm seeing is Chelsea, are going for a new direction. They're tying down young, talented players onto long contracts, and they're developing the team. So it is a new philosophy for Chelsea as well, and that takes time to bed in. As
so
well as.
Long story short, I want Champions League football. I expect Champions League football because I still think the group we have are talented enough to get that.
Yeah.
But Jay, let me ask you a quick question. I know you're on the way of building, but I thought Chelsea, after the last couple of games, I think it was Luton, you won your game before Arsenal you played. Got to Arsenal, you're at Stamford Bridge, you're 2-0 up, you're cruising. Is it a bottle job? Am I allowed to say that? Did you bottle it?
Of course it is, man. Of course it is. Not so much the first goal that we give away, but more so the handling of the rest of the game after that. Because I think there's nothing they can do about the first goal that we concede as a team. It's got nothing to do with the team, really, if we're all being honest. It's literally just between Sanchez and Rice. They're the only two men involved in that goal, isn't it? And one has a clanger and gives it straight to obviously Declan Rice. And Declan Rice, I'm pretty sure if he's at West Ham, nine times out of 10, that pass is going straight to Souček. But because he plays for Arsenal now, he's decided to whip it straight side lane. So there's nothing we can do about that. He's feeling himself at the moment. I don't blame him because he's had a great start to his career with Arsenal. But but I do agree with you. We bottled that last last 10 minutes. We 100% bottled it because when you think about a team that would see that game out and you think about the way that we played that game for 77 minutes, what we should have done was we should have just taken a moment, understood that it was an error from the keeper and carried on playing the way we played. If we'd have done that, we probably would have seen the game out. But what we did was we did what Arsenal wanted us to do basically, and we kind of fed into the chaos. Poch made a couple substitutions that were
that's a big
Poch made a couple substitutions that for me were very questionable because Reece James, bro, if he's not starting, I don't want to see him, bro. Like, I'll be honest. Reece James is one of them players where if he's not starting the game, he's not a bench player like that. He don't just come off the bench and do something. He's a slow starter as it is, like in terms of when he comes back from injury. So bringing him on for like 5-10 minutes, it was never going to do anything. Do you get what I'm saying? And then he brings Madueke on to put him on the left wing when you've been watching him for England under 21s. If you have been watching England under 21s, you'll know he plays on the right. That's where he's most effective, and he's come on to play on the left. And
welcome to Poch, man. That's what Poch does. I'm not gonna lie. I do love.
Is that true?
He's done that for Spurs. He used to do that. He used to take players off. You're like, why are you taking this player off? But I'm just getting something in right now, and I'm seeing. I think it's a celebration of the celebration. I think I'm getting a celebration. Did Mudryk mean that shot?
Absolutely.
Or was that fluke?
Absolutely not. It's a cross-come shot, man. We've all done it before when we played.
The audacity of him to say he did.
Would you say Chelsea were kind of lucky in that game then? Like, would you say, because at one point I thought Arsenal might take all 3 points?
I think we deserved to go ahead, but I don't think it's not, obviously for me. There's still a worry that we can't take our opportunities because
put the ball in the back of the net.
Because when we got opportunities to actually score goals ourselves without, you know, a fluky shot or a penalty or whatever, we still fluffed those chances, and that's essentially what lost us the game. Palmer had the same opportunity Declan Rice had in that game. He slots that away, 3-0, dead and buried. Good night.
Different game. Yeah, of course.
I'm celebrating right now. I'm bantering Arsenal. I'm sending out my 50 tweets.
Was you ready to ban Arsenal? Did you think you had it wrapped up, or were you nervous?
I thought 75 minutes. Yeah, I didn't think it was like completely done, but 75 minutes. I thought consolation maybe 2-1 at best, because just generally Chelsea were defending well. We were, like I said, we were.
You say you outplaying Arsenal basically. Arsenal.
Jackson in the comments.
This is the thing, yeah. In that game, I don't think it was even a game where teams were trying to outplay each other. I think Arsenal tried to play. I think some of their players were poor, but that was equally due to how good Chelsea was. I don't think anybody ran more than Conor Gallagher in that game on that day.
Do you rate him? Do you rate Conor Gallagher? Do you rate him? Do you think he's a good player? Is he a Chelsea boy?
I think he has limitations. And if you'd have asked me, say for example, we've got Romeo Lavia, right?
Yeah.
If you ask me who I'd want in my future midfield for Chelsea, I'd be picking Lavia all day. Like I wouldn't be picking Gallagher. But I give Gallagher props because if he continues to grow and he continues to improve week in, week out, nothing you can do. If he's giving that midfield the balance that it needs. Because sometimes you need that, do you know what I mean? Like we used to watch Liverpool go and blitz teams, and nobody really likes Henderson like that, if we're all being honest. But he was doing a job. He was giving them balance, do you know what I mean? And there's nothing you can really do about that if they're part of a winning formula. And right now, Gallagher is part of Chelsea's resurgence in terms of getting back to form. So it's one of the ones I'm not going to say he's a terrible player, because I think he's shown qualities at times for Palace when he played for them. I think he was very good. I think his energy, and he's an infectious player. You can tell he's one of them players. If you're playing on the pitch with him, you're going to kind of give it your all, and you're not going to, you're not just going to sit back and watch him run. You're going to kind of do what he's doing. And I think a lot of the players did that on the day, and he kind of led the line with that. So I think him and Palmer especially. So I think we disrupted Arsenal. I think we made sure that Odegaard couldn't play. I think we made sure that Saka and Martinelli didn't get comfortable. And we respected Arsenal, and which is what we should have done. Like Arsenal are a team where they're at the peak of their powers at the moment. Obviously, this season they started off slow, but generally speaking, everybody had them, City, and probably if Liverpool were going to come back in form, which they have, they probably have Liverpool down as probably the top 3 teams this season. I think most people would have thought that, and we treated Arsenal like that. But the only thing I'd say is a lot of teams have kind of shown Arsenal a little bit of respect this season, and it's not looked great for Arsenal, if I'm being honest. Like I don't think they've dealt with that. You get what I'm saying? So
this is just highlights from Odegaard's season so far. Apparently they've found him. He was missing from the Chelsea game. So just some highlights for you guys. But Cheeks, we are going to get to you. We're just letting you brew a little bit, like a fine tea.
I can see it ending and building up.
Yeah, we want to see some fireworks, man. But yeah, Odegaard quality, but just been missing. Standard nose rubs, as you can see. I'll talk you through it. Standard hand through the hair. Standard now, little light jog on the pitch, forming up. Very little light jog. And then,
I'm trying to make sense of it, because I'm thinking, is Arteta asking him to do something different this season? Is it the fact that he has?
Do you think he missed? Do you think do you think he missed Xhaka?
Or Party? Or I don't know where, because he had a partnership with Party or something. I don't know where it is. But maybe it is Xhaka as well. I forgot about that.
It's interesting, like with you lot's dynamic in midfield, because I tweeted at the start of the season that I felt your midfield was a downgrade. That's what I thought. And a lot of people started tweeting me saying, but how can you say that Rice is an upgrade on this and this and this? And I was like, that's not how football works, though. Like Conor Gallagher, nobody would have said Conor Gallagher is an upgrade for Chelsea. Nobody.
He's important, though. I went to a game
but he's important, right?
And
so
he's important. No one does what he does.
This is what I'm trying to say. So
Let's not overdo it now.
Necessarily
Let's
a thing
not
where it's like
overdo it.
it's not necessarily a thing like it's like this player comes in for this player, so boom, it's an upgrade. Because all right, cool, Kai Havertz comes in and people might say, oh, he should be better than Xhaka in the left centre mid role, but all of a sudden the dynamic don't look right, and that itself makes it a downgrade because now people don't know what they're doing, and now it's affecting Odegaard. So now your best player, your player who was involved in God knows how many assists and goals last season, isn't playing well. So how can it be an upgrade? Do you see what I'm saying? Like long term, it can be, but at the beginning of this season, so far, it looks like a downgrade. And the only player that's playing well is Rice in that midfield. Really, truly, that's if we're being honest, the only player that's actually playing well week in week out is Declan Rice.
Yeah, facts.
So
let me think.
You had three
Saliba
players
does
playing
all
at
right.
top of the top, like in top form. Partey, Odegaard, and Xhaka. Xhaka's having his best season ever as well. So
Playing
that
as a
makes
shadow striker, though. You know what I mean? Playing as a shadow striker.
Yeah.
He's quality. Yeah.
But they were doing the job, bro, and it was ticking. And now Arteta, that's Arteta's job, though, isn't it? Like he's gonna have to sort all of that out.
I will say in Havertz's defense, though, I think I've realized he's a moments player. He's not really a 90 minutes because he came on against Chelsea and he gave the ball to Saka, who gave the ball to Trossard. And then in the City game, he gave it to Martinelli. So I think he's just it's about moments with him. Hence the Champions League thing. I don't think he's ever going to have a good season. He's just going to have good moments. I don't see it.
Yeah, I'll be honest. Havertz is a weird player, bro. Like
That's the
obviously,
word.
I had him at my club. I love the big games that he played for Chelsea because in the big games that he played for Chelsea, there's a lot of big games where I look at him and I'm like, why can't we have this player like week in week out?
Yeah.
But we also saw him as more of a 9. So
yeah, 100%.
Arteta's coming. He's trying to get him to do this left centre mid role. And again, my thoughts about that straight away was how is he going to do the work that Xhaka's doing?
He's not though, because you know where it is. I think, and it goes back to what you're saying about the party. So like, Rice has done so well, but he tends to drift to the left, and that Zinchenko, like it disrupts something because Zinchenko. So Havertz ain't even going to be there. He's playing like supporting striker because Rice fills that role. So it's weird, and then Rice is in Zinchenko's position, so Zinchenko's on the opposite side of where he usually plays on the left, and then I just don't know what's happening. It's confusing at the moment. It's proper confusing. This guy and his animations.
I mean, Havertz, what a guy, right?
So far, so good. He's the difference in big games.
So he was bought as a £60 million player or 65 or whatever it was, just to play in the big games.
If you look at what went wrong last season, hypothetically speaking, or like in terms of theory, he should make a difference. In theory, it's just if it's practical now. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, if I'm buying someone for 60, 65 million, it shouldn't just be a theory. It should be the real deal, right? I mean, if I'm paying £10 million for someone, then maybe we can theorize about whether they'll be good or not. But if I'm dropping 65 M's on a player, it's got to be, listen, you got to start performing from day one.
Listen, I'll be honest, guys. Look, we've got Richarlison, yeah? And I'm not a fan. I can hold my hands up and say, look, 60 million, Levy got it wrong, innit?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what? Richarlison at Everton, I could see why.
Yeah, it makes sense.
It made sense. You know what? He actually kept them in the league last season.
I hear you.
You know what I'm saying? You can see that there's potential with Richarlison. You know what I'm saying?
That's just the same rhetoric I hear from the Spurs fans at the moment. At Everton, he's playing on the left. He's a number 9. He's playing out of position. Rare tear. He's Brazil's number 9. But when it comes to a Spurs shirt, we played him up front and we played Son on the left. Didn't work. We're trying him down the left. And yeah, he's got a few goal contributions, a few assists. But you need a little bit more from your wing forward, from your 60 million player. For me, you just need to hit the back of the net. Do you know what I'm saying? So I could defend him all I want, but does Richarlison get in any top 16? That's what I have to ask myself. And the question is no. Do you know what I'm saying? I would rather not have Jesus or
Yeah,
Charles.
but we got Nketiah up top. So do you know what I mean? So he possibly could.
No, come on, Nketiah.
You would rather have Richarlison than Nketiah.
Nketiah is better than Richarlison. Come on.
You don't have no respect for Richarlison at all.
Come on.
What are we doing here? Like,
One thing I'll say though,
thing-
you see Chelsea are laughing. How they got about 120 million for Havertz and Mount from it? They're laughing.
them man are actually laughing.
Yeah.
But you know, with Havertz, I just think he has to do one or two things for that fee, right? He has to either come in and make Arsenal a better football team generally in terms of just how you play. So even if it's a thing where he makes the system better, like he does that, or he comes in and he does what some players do, where they are like effective in games. So like they'll get a goal or they'll get an assist or whatever it is. He's got to do one of those things.
So what was the second thing he has to do? You said he has to what?
Like assist or get a goal or something most of the time when he's playing, or not every game, but he has to be in and about the numbers. Do you know what I mean? It's like you do one of either or. Do you know what I mean? It's either you make the system better or you do that. And for 65 million at the moment, Havertz, he's on the bench.
Jay, sorry to cut you off, Jay. I've just got something in as well. From as well. One of your legends. No, from one of the Chelsea legends. No, brother, it's Hazard. Hazard's got
the biggest clubs in the world right now. Barcelona or Real Madrid. Personally, for me, it would be in between Arsenal or... What? What's wrong with Arsenal?
Sorry, Jay, carry on. Sorry.
We don't deserve that. We don't deserve that.
No, but yeah, I think he's got to do one of those things. And if he doesn't do those things, if he's not doing any of that, maybe, I don't know, Jan or just after, I think it's going to be difficult for Havertz to kind of make it look like he's worth the money. Do you know what I mean? Because obviously you're not going to be that patient as well with somebody like Havertz when you know that, your season. No, I mean, your season just gone. Obviously, you come close to winning the title, right? If Havertz kind of disrupts that whole thing and Arteta spends most of his season trying to work out what to do with Kai, I think that will affect your chances.
And Jay, sorry to interrupt you again. I just want to add on to that. Do you think that Arteta is being stubborn on this signing, like where he constantly is trying to integrate this player at the cost of Arsenal's fluidity? Because before the season started, I was looking for Arsenal that were fluid in all positions, that could change and interchange, so every player could play almost more than one position, if that makes sense. Yeah. That's why he was trying to put Thomas Partey as a right back to kind of facilitate getting Rice and getting Havertz in that midfield free with Odegaard. Do you know what I mean? Do you think he's doing too much? Because like for me, if it's a championship you're going for, why the hell are you experimenting? I don't understand. Like, why would you experiment?
I got the answer to that.
Go on, Chase. Because
like, think about it. All your remember, I watched last season with you lot as well. It was lovely. It was fluid. It was amazing. We blew teams out the water, but we won nothing. Do you know what I mean? We won nothing. That doing what we did last season will win us nothing. If you get what I'm saying, we had no plan B. We had no go-to. We had nothing else. Because I understand, like, it don't look as fluid as it was last season, and we ain't playing as amazingly, but we're undefeated. I think we've got more points now than we did at this point last season. So I think he had for like the league it's a long haul, it's a marathon, not a sprint. So you need a plan B, you need something else. And so far with his experiment, and barring a Champions League game, we're undefeated. Do you know what I mean? As much as other games we ain't looked as nice and it ain't been as pretty and the game weren't over in a certain amount of time, all that he did last season, it got us nowhere, realistically.
Yeah, no.
So do you get Ivan Toney in January then?
I would take him, obviously, because it would be stupid not to, but hanging my hat, like, I don't think that guarantees anything. Do you get what I mean? I think that, because you remember when Marlon came in and it looked a bit shaky at first and it didn't work, and then he had to change everything, play 4 centre-backs and mix up the whole team to figure it out. It worked in the end, but there's going to be a period of of the team figuring him out and him figuring out the team, where it might cost us.
So do you think it was a wise idea for him to take out Gabriel as your left-sided centre back? Because I think he's had like a decent season. But do you think it was a great idea to leave him out? And I felt like you may have dropped points because of that back four wasn't quite what it should have been. As soon as he came in that scene, he looks like, like it looks like it's working now.
So we dropped points at Fulham. Our team without Gabriel should beat Fulham. Full stop.
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean? And even when Gabriel started getting back into the team, there was games when like the last 20 minutes, half hour, he looked knackered. So I think it was due to like a fitness thing as well. I don't think it was just Arteta being.
Well, is that because he didn't play from the start? Because the other guys had the head start on them. So maybe because he'd been left out, he wasn't up to speed. And that's the reason why he was knackered. And then that's the reason why you could have dropped points. Because we were told as Spurs fans that, Fulham, we're going to come up against Fulham. Watch out. We drew against them.
Who told you that though? You know what I mean? But who are those guys?
I'll bring him on next time. No way. I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna bring him on. I'm gonna bring him on.
Fulham, yeah. Ask Jay what he feels about Fulham, his rivals. Like, do you know? Come on, man.
Yeah, but can we talk about the elephant in the room? Because the elephant in the room for me is the goalkeepers, guys. Looking at Raya, obviously you knocked out Ramsdale for him, and then we've got Sanchez from Brighton. From Chelsea, like who wants to go first? Like,
we're just gonna skip past Onana. what we doing there?
He saved the penalty yesterday, yeah.
Ash, namesake. Go on, Ash. Defend yourself, Ashley. Defend yourself, man.
You know what? With the keepers. Now go on, Ash. Go on, Ash.
No, what I'm gonna say, yeah, and Jay knows because I'm in a group chat with him. I defended Onana for a long time, haven't I? I defended him for a long time, and I said, you know what? In terms of how Ten Hag wants to play. It's the whole everyone knows playing out from the back and XYZ. But we're now at a stage where I'm looking, they're talking about him needing trade. They're comparing him to David De Gea when he first come. Like at 27 years old, we shouldn't be having to teach a keeper how to command the box or come off the line. Do you know what I'm saying? And I don't know. I think maybe it's a case of what you see in when he was at Ajax and then when he went to Inter Milan, maybe the pressure on the league was a bit different. It's come to the Prem and it's a bit more intense and stuff. So I still think he's a good keeper, and I still think he is a keeper that United need. But that kind of football, or not commanding the box, we're not actually benefiting from it. So it looks shaky at the moment, very shaky. Every time a shot comes to us, I'm wondering. Is it going to go underneath him? Is it going to slip through his hands? I don't know.
Hi, Ash. Quick one, yeah? Just a quick one. Like, I'm trying to watch the Champions League in the background that you've got on. And I'm just trying to catch the bit of Michael Richards. So, can you turn it on mute? I'm going to watch it later. All I can hear was that in the background. I'm like,
sorry.
Oh man, that is embarrassing.
But with the keepers, with obviously
he's facing the wrong way. What's going on here?
How did he get there?
And that makes no
sense.
Is
that the Mudryk goal?
That's Raya, yeah. Why are you looking at the fans? This makes no sense. Wow. This makes me sick.
I think with the keepers, though, I think like in terms of, I'll talk on Sanchez's mistake, obviously. Like, I think Raya had a much worse game, if I'm being honest, because I think the whole thing about playing out from the back, I think you always run that risk of one pass at some point in the game going to an opposition player. And it sounds crazy because you're thinking, how can you do that? How can you? But they try a lot of like quite dangerous passes a lot of the time.
It's like his breakdowns.
That's a bonkers still. I didn't even know he ended up like that. That is crazy.
Grandmaster Flash and the man there.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I just think a lot of the time when you're playing out from the back, I think you run the risk of doing that a lot. So. Yeah, I'm not surprised one of them went to an opposition player, but normally you'd think you'd get away with it. But like I said, we got punished heavily, and when the same thing happened to us closer to goal, we just didn't punish them. And it's something that we live with in the game now, isn't it? It's like a lot of keepers are trying to do it, especially like the top teams. Like they're trying to get keepers that are good on the ball, and then they're shocked that, like I was saying before, that these guys are keepers. Yeah, they're goalkeepers, and people keep forgetting that they're goalkeepers. So you're asking them to pretty much play like a midfielder or a centre back, and just pass the ball out like on a regular basis throughout the whole game, all the time. You're gonna see blunders. Like there's a reason why they're goalkeepers, bro. Do you get what I'm saying? It's like, how are you trying to change you're basically just trying to change goalkeepers now into like, you might as well have them able to play centre back, bro, because you're basically asking for them to be outfield players.
That's what Raya does. He plays left centre back for us.
That's what you're doing though. So in my opinion, I think if you're gonna play like that, I don't think you should be that shocked to see one of those happen in a game, especially if you have the ball a lot. Do you know what I mean? If you have the ball a lot
as well, from Arsenal's training ground as well, straight after the match.
Tinks, do you want Ramsdale back in, or what do you think?
Would you buy Ramsdale, Jay? Jay, would you buy Ramsdale?
He's not for sale, man. It's not for sale.
I found this from somewhere.
Have you ever loved a club and they lose? You know, if I bet don't do that. Like Chelsea, now if you're a Chelsea fan, you have Chelsea have bought all the players in the world without coach. Have you ever?
He's got a muffin and a dumpling on the plate. That doesn't make no sense.
But no, I think I wouldn't have Ramsdale now.
Oh, wow.
Would you take Martinez?
I think Martinez is a good keeper, you know.
Yeah.
Wait, it was. Why did Arsenal get rid of him in the first place? I don't get it.
He's got main character syndrome.
But that's what you need. Look, if you look at
Arteta doesn't like that. Arteta doesn't like that, man.
Yeah.
But do you know what's going to be your downfall, right? Is going to be the fact that Arteta can't let go of his ego, and he's too stubborn. It's got to be his way or no way. I get it. A manager's got to stamp his own authority on things and implement what he thinks is right. But sometimes, you know, if it's not right, okay. Look, what I'm trying to say is sometimes he's got to bend the rules a little bit. Like,
Fergie did it with Cantona, innit?
And even Pep didn't want a striker for the longest time, and then he got Haaland in, and now that was the final piece he needed to get to that Champions League final to do the treble. As soon as he got the striker, boom, 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 everything opened up. But before that, he wasn't quite making it over the line. So sometimes you just have to break the mold and just kind of go off orthodox to get what you want. Do you know what I'm trying to say? So, but I'm looking at United, and bro, Champions League. Ash, talk to me. You were at home. What did you make of that performance against? Was it Copenhagen? Right? Have I said it right?
You know what it is, yeah. Right now, we're just playing to try and get into Europa. That's what it is. That's how bad it is. We're playing just to get into Europa. Listen, as I said last season, our football last season, it's not sustainable to play like that last season and to come into this season. It's not sustainable when teams are improving, teams are getting better. Do you know what I'm saying? So, and now I'm just.
It's hard, isn't it? It's hard. I can hear the voice.
Yeah, because we're getting results, but we're not actually performing, and we can't keep on getting poverty wins. As I said, it's poverty wins. We've won 3 games on the bounce now. There's no, you know, where's the positives? Yeah, the positives are we're united. We can always scrape. It's true. Broken bad, man. Broken and bad. You know, broken and bad.
It's okay, man.
It's okay. It's okay.
But however, we're at a stage where can it get any worse? Can it get any worse at the moment? So,
do you know what the maddest thing about that is, Ash? Yeah, it actually can, because you could actually start losing.
You can't kick a man when he's down like that, Jay. You can't do that, man.
Your games, bro.
You know,
right
you
now,
look like you sound like you couldn't wait to do that as well.
Right now, you're playing bad and you're winning.
No.
But where it gets worse is if you keep playing the way you're playing and you start losing, bro.
It's not sustainable. I know. You know what I also said as well? I also said at the beginning of the season, listen, I think Hodgland's a great signing for us. You can see there's a lot of potential.
Do you? Interesting.
Yeah, I do.
You don't see it, Ash.
You know what? I think he needs to gamble a lot more. He holds back a little bit. The Premiership, I think he's getting used to, but
he's showing
you
all the signs.
kind of want it now. 70 mil, you kind of want it like.
You know
I
what?
don't know. Is that just me or it's?
Stop quoting the money, man. You're such a gaslighter.
Listen. Obviously, his performance, he's always going to be judged on goals. He's always going to be judged on goals. But if you look at
right?
Yeah. You're taking a mic.
Hey, the tag team champions of the world.
I mean, look. I've got these two guys on the screen because redemption, right? Yesterday it was like redemption for them.
Yeah.
Ashley, if I'm not mistaken, Maguire was, he come in like Oliver Bierhoff with that header straight into the back of the net, and then Onana just made a save, out of nowhere. No one expected him to come out with that save. To be fair, it was a poor penalty, but he still got to save it. He still got to go the right way and save it. But my question to you, Ashley, is: can these two sort of, not so much Onana, but can Maguire revive his career at Manchester United, based on what you've seen so far?
You know what? Maguire is. Let's keep it real. Maguire is not actually a bad player. Do you really think he's a bad player? I think the price tag he's always going to be judged on his price tag, but he's not actually a bad player. But honestly, looking at our defenders right now, I think he can. I think he can come back into the team. Not that I want him, but I think he can, just based on our defenders right now. So we can't judge him on 2 games, can we? You know what I'm saying? 2 games. He's had 2 games good back to back. But ultimately, I think he still leaves in January.
I think there were still mistakes there yesterday against Copenhagen. There were glaring mistakes, but Copenhagen were a bit toothless up front, if I'm being honest.
They didn't really do much.
I think Arucci was their main player last night. He was phenomenal.
They hit the post.
Yeah, he was phenomenal. But look, it made up for it. He got a goal.
He deserves it.
No, get those lights off! Off! Turn them off. They're too bright. Turn them off.
Listen, you know what? Listen, the 2 players that have been under the most scrutiny right now, they've come through and they pulled through for us. Like, all we could hope for is that they push on from that. Do you know what I'm saying? The fans are now cheering Maguire. They're cheering his name. He hasn't had that for about, I don't know. When's the last time he's had that?
Ash, fuck off, Ash.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
But anyway, look, we've got Mr. Box Office in the house. Obviously, Alex, welcome to the show. Alex has probably been listening to everyone having their say on the show. First of all, Alex, Tottenham sitting top of the league at the moment, 23 points, 9 games. Big Ange doing phenomenally well. But obviously, we'll have our rivals around us waiting in the wings. You've got Chelsea in a mini revival. Manchester United trying to claw their way back up the league table. And then you've got Arsenal as well, always going to be there this season, But what do you think of it all? What do you make of it all?
Firstly, need to get into the whole thing about my football club, Tottenham Hotspur. Because the gift that keeps on giving our Tottenham Hotspur fans give it so much. Oh, they're so brilliant. Honestly, the most deluded fans in the Premier League every single time. I don't even know if it's Arsenal or it's Tottenham Hotspur. Absolutely deluded. Absolutely deluded. I can't believe honestly, there's some of the rubbish I've heard, especially on your show yesterday, Ash. By the way, I know you're my boy, Ash, but honestly, the waffle I was hearing yesterday, especially about Kulu. Honestly, I'm trying to figure out. The most apologies I've heard about Kulu is it's ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous. He's supposed to be a winger. He's mostly a fullback, You know what I mean? A right back. You know what I mean? I've never heard such absolute waffle in my life. You know what I mean? Oh, Romero. Oh, he's the best thing since sliced bread. Oh, it's been 9 games. It's been 9 games. Yeah, he's better than Saliba. Even me, as a Tottenham Hotspur fan, knows that Saliba's better than him all day long because he's done it for 2 seasons. You know what I mean? 8 games is a full season for Tottenham Hotspur fans. You know what I mean? Honestly, the most deluded fans I've ever heard in my life. You know what I mean? And don't get me started with Ange. Don't get me started with Ange. Yeah, I said. Yeah, and by the way, we're talking about Manchester United.
I like Mr. Box Office.
I talk about Manchester United. Yeah,
I like
this
him.
is
I like
the
him.
best
I like him.
period right now. I'll tell you why it's their best period right now. Yeah, because you're finding out who the losers right now are. Yeah, you're finding out who the grinders at the moment right now are. Yeah, when you're losing, when you're having a bad run, you start finding out who the losers are. Yeah, then you start finding out if the actual club actually back your manager. You know what I mean? Tottenham Hotspur haven't gone through that yet. Because remember, we need to actually have a manager that lasts for a year, a season first, before we can start actually jumping up and down right now. You know what I mean? Yeah. Before anybody else needs to say anything, this is what I need to introduce myself. It's Mr. Box Office, the main event, the professor of truth and entertainment, the ratings killer. Yeah. Tottenham Hotspur's nightmare and Ash's guilty pleasure, and that's it. And if you don't know, get to know, and that's it. And that's all I need to say, and that's it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And let's get this the final one, and that's it. Yeah. All I've been told by Tottenham Hotspur fans is saying, "Oh, we've got the best 11 going." Yeah. What about the sub bench, bruv? Yeah. When you're bringing on Charlison, the below average Emil Heskey, and that's actually a shameful saying that. That's a sham saying that about Emil Heskey, by the way. Yeah, because Richarlison is absolute crap, rubbish, by the way. Yeah, yeah, doesn't score no goals, and that's it. Yeah, when I'm bringing on Emerson, yeah, who you can't teach to attack. All he can do is defend, and all he does is do nothing, and that's it. You know what I mean? And that's it. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm not believing on being a title contender. Yeah, well, I'm sorry, I'm not having it. Yeah, I still think we're gonna get 8th. And top 6th, and that's it. I don't care about Champions League because we know what Champions League is for Tottenham Hotspur. Yeah, it's a day out in the Champions League, and that's it. Going on holiday, going to the red light district in Holland, and that's it. Yeah, and that's it. And all that's it today, and that's it. And that's all I'm saying. That's it. Back to you, as I'm done rinsing these people's pieces. I'm done.
And yeah, I mean, some interesting points Alex makes there. What do you think, Ash?
Yeah, I mean, he's got a point about Richarlison. I've already brought him up. And Kulu, I said, as much as ability, and he splits the fan base, to be fair, but he does not know when to shoot, and he doesn't know when to pass. He's indecisive. He's not the same Kulu that we had when we had him on loan. Maybe we get him back on loan again, and then maybe he turns up, because this season he's just not been doing it, bro. Because I just need him to pull the trigger, do what a winger does, take it on the outside, because he always wants to come on his left foot, his stronger foot, because that's his dribble foot. But sometimes, bro, just go on your right, because your right foot's not that bad. Do you know what I'm saying? It's getting a bit too predictable. So he's made some valid points about it's only 9 games in. We got like another 31 games to go. So you do learn a lot more about your team after a loss. But I feel like we haven't been playing great, but we've been getting the W's. I think that's the difference. And I think you can learn whilst you're not playing so well, but you're still getting the wins. You still can learn about some of these players if they're good enough. As we've seen, Richarlison, Kulusevski, and maybe 1 or 2 players that have come on, like our bench is kind of weak. And I said it at the start. I said, take Maddison and Son out, the level drops all the way down. So I'm not completely convinced. I think, and I said it as well, we need Levi, whatever you want to call him, Levi Jeans, to come in January and back this manager, whatever that means. I don't know what that means for the fans, but we need to put our hand in the pocket and we need to improve on the depth, because the depth is, for me, it's not good enough.
And Ash,
Yeah.
I need to also say as well, yeah, this is another thing that Tottenham Hotspur said as well. We've got a game changer though, yeah, that's been injured for how long, yeah, right? He's a game changer. Bentancur. He's turned into a world-class player overnight, over a year. You know what I mean? This is what Tottenham Hotspur fans say. You know what I mean? After he's been injured, it's just so deluded. Yeah, he's okay. He's okay. You know what I mean? He did okay.
I think he's awesome, but whether he comes back the same as last season is questionable. I don't know. That's what I will say.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, he scored a good goal in training. I saw a video of it. Yeah, he scored a good goal. He scored a good goal in training. And my Tottenham Hotspur fans are going to be jumping up and down about that. Honestly.
Let's talk about your favorite guy, Mr. Is his name Uda? How do you pronounce it, Mr. Box Office? Odegaard?
Odegaard.
Odegaard, yeah. Talk to me about Odegaard.
Oh boy, honestly, don't get me started. Oh my gosh, this is what's wrong with football this day and age. Let's talk about some previous hero, number 10, Zidane, Figo, Ericsson. Well, not so much Ericsson, but you got Modric. You know what I mean? Like
They
even
weren't tens, were
Madison.
they?
You got
Or am I
you got
wrong?
you got players that got a football brain that don't think for themselves. Yeah, think for themselves. He's just a systematic player that someone just tells him what to do and he does what he does and that's it. I'm sorry. That's why he's flopping. The fact that someone just said, by the way, oh, he's missing Xhaka. What does that say to you?
Would you say he was a purple patch kind of player? Like last season was a purple patch, and this season.
Well, yeah, but what does that say to you? What does that say to you? Honestly, he's just like, I mean, okay, Jesus yesterday. I saw the game yesterday, by the way. By the way, to Manchester United fans yesterday, yeah, that was actually a very good goal. That was a very good game, by the way. I watched the highlights. Very good game, by the way, yeah, entertainment-wise, yeah. But yeah.
What makes it even worse, just hearing Mr. Box Office's voice over that music.
He's not entertaining. Listen. I'm sorry. Yeah, I go on what I seen previously when I was a kid. Yeah, right. I'm an old school football fan. Yeah, I don't believe in stats. I don't believe in XG, which is a load of rubbish because people don't understand what XG is. By the way, it's a bit of difficulty of a shot rather than chances, which people think it's. Well, don't get me started on that. Yeah, but for me, I'm sorry, this guy is overhyped all day, every single day. Martinelli and Saka are your top players at Arsenal all day, every single day. I'm sorry, they improve every single season. Yeah, Odegaard's only had one okay season and that's it. Sorry, I'm done with him. Sorry, that's me. That's me. Sorry.
That's harsh.
Could it be that's not what he does? You don't really appreciate though, because the two players that you named that are best players, they aesthetically are. If you know what I mean.
I wish I was like those guys, by the way. But anyway, yeah, no, it's just like no. I'm just for me, I don't see what is such a hype about him. I've got to be honest. For me, he needs to do what players of number 10 should be doing. Yeah, you go deep when you can't find the space, and you just try and find your spaces, and that's it. Yeah, a number 10 should be able to think for themselves. Yeah. Try and find the space themselves. Try and go between the lines. They're the ones that are supposed to be the guy that makes a player look good. Maddison makes other players look good around him. Ericsson did that. Yeah, Fernandez had that a little bit as well. I don't know what's happened to him. I don't know what's happened to him since he started. But again, that just goes on to my point about when the player starts really well, they seem to just falter. They don't improve. They don't seem to find another level. You get what I'm saying? That's where I can give Song a little bit of credit. You know what I mean? That's why I can give Song a little bit of credit. That when Manchester United at the best, you have David Beckham, Giggs. I know I don't want to really go there with Giggs because we know what's happening there, but Giggs. You had Ronaldo, even though I couldn't stand him, but look at Ronaldo. He always
comparing Odegaard to those players ain't fair though. They have completely different jobs.
Well, yeah, but those sort of players that you expect someone to just like revitalize themselves. You know what I mean? And try and think of things. Different ways to improve. You know what I mean? To players of today, it's like they have one good season or maybe two good seasons, and they're gone, and that's it. And I'm sorry, just for me, I don't think he's that great. I think Maddison's been good, really good for me. Rodri, good player. You know what I mean? Like, what is it? Silva for Manchester City. He kept on revitalizing himself, and that's it. De Bruyne, those sort of players that you always found a way to improve and get better and better. Hazard had it a little bit as well before he went to Real Madrid and completely flopped. I just like players that think for themselves, not just fit in the system, and then when the system's not around them, it's like, well, they disappear. That's Odegaard for me.
What's he
All the
say?
successful teams are heavily system based, though. City are heavily system based. Liverpool are heavily system based. Arsenal are very system based. All the teams that are not very system based and just buy players to plug and play, they don't really get nowhere in terms of longevity, if you know what I mean. And Odegaard, sometimes he don't look as fancy going forward, but if you remember Özil, who was our last number 10, he blew him out the water because Özil was good for one thing. Like, even if Odegaard's not doing well going forward, he works hard. He's depressed. He runs his socks off. Like, do you know what I mean? And there's not a lot of forward thinking players that do that in the middle of the park, barring obviously the wingers, like you said. But I think it's unfair, man. He's having a bad few games, but sorry, go on.
Just a quick one. Sorry to cut you, man. Just a quick one. I just want to hear the panel's views, just to get everyone's opinion, real quick. Just on our Manchester United, and obviously I'll start with Ashley on this one because you are the United expert. Do you see Manchester United with this type of performances? Can you see them finishing in the top 4?
No.
And also, just to add to that, do you think Ten Hag? Here's a better question. Do you think Ten Hag will survive to the end of the season?
100%.
She's not sure.
No, I think he will. I think he will, and I think I hope that. I don't want to go down that road of sacking managers, because I think once you go down that road, it's the slippery road, and then we're going to be thinking about who we're going to bring in next. Like, I think he will last at the end of the season, and but obviously, if you don't get top 4, there's going to be questions asked. Big questions asked, because he spent a lot of money. What happens with the Champions League if we make it into the next round? Big questions asked again. So he's at the moment, every game we've won, the headlines has been Ten Hag's job's been saved. Do you know what I'm saying? If we go into people are saying if against Sheffield, if we lost against Sheffield, people are saying he could possibly get sacked. So,
do you know what the problem is, Ash? Yeah? Do you know what I think his biggest problem is as well? Is that, for example, Ange's come in. This is Ange's first season, right?
Yeah.
Poch has come in.
Yeah.
Cool. He hasn't started. He hasn't hit the ground running the same way Ange has. But
Emery,
everybody's starting to already say,
yeah,
they're already starting to say like Poch has got them. Like Chelsea are playing well. They're not scoring, but they're playing well. So it's like there's still positives there. With Ten Hag, I think Eddie Howe as well. He's built on his previous season as well. He's built on that, and so obviously he's in Champions League. He's playing well, beat PSG. So like there's things there to cling on to for every club. Do you know what I'm saying?
Are United ahead of Chelsea, by the way? Just a quick question. Sorry for that.
Like 1 point.
Chelsea?
Yeah,
they are at the moment. Yeah, but I think
you wouldn't think so by the sounds of things. You'd think like United are.
The thing is though, Ash. Yeah, the thing is though, like I'll give you an example. Right, when we played Burnley the other day, we absolutely annihilated them, bro. Like, and it was the first game that we'd obviously scored more than like a couple of goals in games, but play wise, that was also one of the first games where how we played in the game is what the result. It was the right result. Do you get what I'm saying? Whereas other games, we've played games like that against
the performance matched the result, basically.
The performance matched the result, basically. Yeah, exactly. And we've had games like that against Liverpool. First game of the season, bro. Everybody was talking about Chelsea after that first game of the season, saying, "Oh, like, they look good." Do you get what I'm saying? Saying that if Nkunku was playing, maybe they beat Liverpool. So like, there's positives to take from every game that you watch with Chelsea. But with United, the problem is, I watched them against Burnley, bro. If Fernandes doesn't score that wonder goal, that flipping crazy volley from nowhere, they probably draw the game. And that's what I'm trying to say. Like, people are talking about Burnley getting relegated. Like, they're talking about them not even being it's a done deal, bro. They're getting relegated. And United shouldn't be, with the players that Ten Hag has asked for, yeah? Because this is the other thing. He hasn't just spent money. It's not like the club have just backed him and they've just spent money on players that the directors have gone and got. They've spent money on players that Ten Hag has specifically asked for. So now, not only are you playing poorly in your second season of football, but you're playing poorly with the players that you asked for, bro.
Yeah.
So like,
still,
listen, he had a season's grace. We gave him a season's grace, and I don't think last season we played that great, but we got the results. We achieved what we did. We got top 4. We got a trophy. whether people want to cuss the Carabao Cup, we got a trophy, we got top 4, but
Yeah, it's still an achievement.
yeah, it's still an achievement. And I'll be honest, I don't think we played great, but I think we did good. And I've said to myself, move on to next season. We're going to spend more money. We're going to improve. 18 months into 18 months in, have we improved? We haven't. We've got Poch that's coming, and despite where Chelsea are, Chelsea have been performing. We've got Dezabi. Dezabi's working with off scraps at the moment. He's getting players from Paraguay and all them places, Peru. He's getting these players performing. Emery's coming. Look at Aston Villa are. Aston Villa's, Ollie Watkins is a new player. Do you know what I'm saying? And that goes without to say without how. So when you judge it on all the other managers,
different pressure, Ash, man. That's different pressure.
It is, but you know what? He's ultimately going to get judged on that as well. You've spent how much in how many windows? 500 million.
Yeah, but to be honest, that team needs more money spent.
Listen, you know what? Listen, we know already, we know already that someone said to me the other day, Ten Hag needs the whole team to be replaced. It doesn't work like that. What team actually replaces every single player?
Does that make Ten Hag a fraud? Is Ten Hag a fraud?
No, I like Ten Hag, but
I like Ten
Hag, but at the end of the day, he has to.
He's the one that recruited those Dutch players. He literally recruited from the Dutch.
Listen,
he has to take responsibility, though. That's the thing.
He does. And,
who's been a bad buy for him though? Sorry to cut.
Oh, come on, Chigs,
give me some names.
Anthony's terrible.
Cool. That's one.
We've got Malassi. I don't even know what he's there for. I don't even know what he's there to do. Malassi.
I mean, I don't know about this Onana kid. Do you rate it so far? I mean,
you know what? It's not looked good, but again, I'm still going to stand by it and say.
And he wanted Van der Beek. He didn't want Maguire. Like, there's a lot of variables we're not including, man. And a lot. I was
gonna say, did Van der Beek play for him though? Didn't he play?
What's the other one's name? De Jong. Sorry, De Jong. Like, do you know, there's a lot. Go on, Ash. Sorry.
No, I was saying, you know what is again, as has said, he has to take accountability. A lot of fans will start hiding behind. Every time we lose, it's the Glazers' fault. And
it is
where there is a big element of it, I totally agree with that. So we don't even need to go into that. We know that there's a big element of the Glazers and what goes on in the back. But at the end of the day, we're talking about performance on the pitch. Are we improving? Does Ten Hag look like he can get us into the top 4?
What do you think of Casemiro? Casemiro coming in, he was a signing for Ten Hag. Was that good enough?
You know what? 50-50. I think Casemiro's he's a top player. But again, what Ten Hag wants to do, Ten Hag wants to play this Ajax way of football. He wants to play this Ajax way of football, and he wants to play high up on the pitch, and then he wants to leave Casemiro isolated, and that's not going to work for him. You can't leave him isolated. At Real Madrid, he had Casemiro, he had Modric and Cruz next to him, and he had better defenders. You know what I'm saying? So we're leaving him isolated, and each time it's not Casemiro's fault why he's looking so poor. It's just a setup. Do you know what I'm saying? Casemiro is still a top player, and you see the quality. You see the quality in Casemiro when he's playing.
The thing is, as well, you look at United's midfield, right, and Mount. Yeah, I'll be honest with you. Like, Ash knows already. I told him a lot about Mount before he went to Man United, and I said, all these people are dreaming about him being this midfielder and like playing the number 8 role. Bro, Mount ain't played number 8 for like 2 seasons.
Never, yeah.
But he played number 8 Chelsea Player of the Year last 2 seasons. Now.
He did, but he got Chelsea Player of the Year. When he got Chelsea Player of the Year, when he got the 10 goals and 11 assists, right, in the league. I got a lot to say about those numbers, yeah, but I'm not going to break them down. I'm not going to do him no disservice. I'm just going to say, cool, he got those numbers, yeah. He got those numbers, and I rate Mount as a player. I think technically he's a tidy player. I think his work rate is quality. I think his game intelligence is actually really good in terms of receiving instructions from coaches, all of that. That's why he was starting for even Southgate at one point, because he can do that stuff. Sometimes you need it, like as a coach. You just need a player that will receive instructions, do what I'm telling you to do. Do you get what I'm saying? We'll put in the work and things will just click into place. And they did for Chelsea, but it weren't in the number 8 role. It was either right wing or in the number 10, like one of the number 10s behind the striker.
He played better with wing backs, didn't he?
And all of that stuff. So when he's coming to United now, I'm not saying that Mount is like he's unfamiliar with the role, because even in his youth days he's played midfield. Like, he can play midfield, but he's played for 2-3 seasons at the top level. He hasn't played that. So now what you're doing is, this is a whole new experiment for Mount in terms of not so much him understanding his role, but the players he's playing with, the coach he's playing with, what he wants him to do. Like, Mount is always going to contribute because he's busy. He gets about the pitch. Like I said, he won't lack. Like, he won't be one of them players that's just walking. But at the same time, at United, unfortunately for him, and even for players like Casemiro, your heritage and your work rate and all that kind of stuff, that ain't gonna in the Premier League now, as competitive as it is, it's not gonna cut it, because you can't just do all of that running and all of that. You're gonna need to put the ball in the back of the net now, and you're gonna need to fix things fast as well, because these teams are getting together now. Yeah, they're getting new managers and
right.
They're coming in with plans, and they're putting them in place very quickly. And like you said, like even Aston Villa, for example, like why are they 2-3 points off top?
Like, how long will it last,
normal,
though, man?
Huh?
How long
No, it won't last long. It won't last long. But even if it lasts up until, say, for example, January, Feb, that means that Man United are somewhere else, not there.
Villa's objectives are different. Their objectives are different, and right now,
no, I hear that. But what I'm saying is, if those clubs are in and about those positions up until Jan, Feb, you're not there. So that means that even if it only lasts until Jan, Feb, now you've only got until Feb till May to try and creep back up to that table, bro. That don't work like that. What when all the fixtures are starting to pile up and you've got Europe to play and you've got this to play and you've got that to play, like that's why as a Chelsea fan, even 9 games in, I'm relaxed because I know what I've been there, bro. When you're in Europe and you're banging out all these games, Spurs are in Europe now, United are in Europe, Arsenal are in Europe. I saw Arsenal fans the other day crying about, not you chicks obviously, but I saw Arsenal fans crying about 3 or 4 injuries the other day, bro. I'm a Chelsea fan. There is no way you're going to chat to me about injuries.
We can't complain about it. You're an idiot.
No way you're going to chat to me about injuries. And you ain't even got into the nitty gritty yet of Europe. You're still comfy. You're still playing your first 3 games. So it's like,
that's it. I have had enough. Enough.
Hey, who's doing this? Is this you, Has?
Yeah, it's Has.
Hey, me. It's not me.
Twisted fire starter.
But yeah, like I said, when you get into Europe and you get deep into Europe, I think it starts to get difficult. I think you've even seen with Brighton, yeah, they're in Europe. They've lost their first 2 games, or I think they lost 1, drew 1. It's not a joke. It's not a joke when you get in there. So different like I said, I think these teams at the moment, with Ten Hag, he's not performing in Europe really. He's not performing in the league. He's got all of the players that he wants. He's in his 2nd season. All of that stuff wrapped up together.
Listen,
I just feel like he's not. I just feel like he's not got long to like.
You get in your 2nd season, and listen. Right now,
nothing though. That's 2nd season's not a lot, actually, though. Do you know? Let me ask you something. Yeah. So think about you got Onana in goal. You got Martinez, Varane centre back. You got Dalot Shaw. You got Amrabat and Casemiro in front of them. And then you got Mount up top pressing. You got Haaland up top, and you got Anthony, and you got Rashford on the left with a high press game.
Forgot Bruno.
So no, Mount. Fernandes don't work hard. Fernandes can come on later when the other team's tired. But that on paper, if they're all performing to their best ability, they're gonna give anyone a run for their money.
I don't think we've seen that team together yet. I don't think we've seen that team.
So even though he has his players, he don't. You get that team on paper is not a rubbish team.
As I said already, listen, there's some players that are missing. Listen, Matt, I think Shaw is a big miss for us.
Mm-hmm.
Our best partnership is Varane and Lissandro. That is our best partnership. Wan-Bissaka, whether people like him or not, he's still a big miss for us at the moment. Do you know what I'm saying? I would say our best midfield would have to be right now Casemiro, Amrabat, and Bruno.
You're saying that? What do you think of Eriksen? Do you think Eriksen has a shout at all? Is he done?
I think Eriksen is good, but again, I think he's a player that he has to come off the bench. You can't expect him to play.
He's a game state player.
Yeah, you have to play. You can't play him. You can't play him in and out every week. And I think that was the problem last season because we overplayed him. Then you saw in the second half of the season, he decided to slow down. Listen, he just come back from a serious health injury. We can't play him every week. But then
He's
you
been
saw
the reason why you lot are playing well though recently.
but then, well, you look at the game yesterday. He changed the game for us yesterday.
But
He
that's my
clearly-
point. But this is what I'm trying to say. Those guys that you're starting, some of them guys are just chaos, bro. Like I look at that midfield, yeah, and with Bruno especially. Oh my god, Bruno and Mount in the same midfield, yeah.
I don't know, makes sense.
I remember when they spoke about it, and
It's chaotic. It's chaotic, isn't it? It's chaos.
chaotic.
It's chaos. It's
There is
absolute
no
chaos.
there is no composure there.
Yeah.
There is absolutely no composure there. And you're talking about composure, yeah. My guy that's defending for them is getting sent off every now and then. So, bro, like that midfield is so chaotic. It's unbelievable, bro. Like so, when Eriksen comes in, no wonder they're playing better because Eriksen, bro. Everybody remembers Eriksen, obviously, Spurs days, but you can't take away like football brain and composure. You can't teach that. You can't understand? Eriksen is coming into that team and he's playing how he's always played.
Very neat.
And no wonder United look a little bit more settled when he plays because right now everything in that team is kind of chaotic at the moment.
Sorry, hold on. Sorry, I just got 4 wins from Mourinho.
That's quality. Guys, so obviously we've had, with this long running debate about Manchester United and all their problems and stuff. We've spoken about each team on an individual basis through the show. But you guys obviously have your fixtures this weekend. I just want to get your predictions on scores for this weekend. Important games for all of you, really, because now it's getting to that time where you need to sort of keep pace. Other teams are sort of playing catch up. I'll start with Chelsea first. Playing Brentford at Chelsea. Not going to be an easy game because Brentford, they play really good football. They pressure you, they press you. They've got really good players in Mbuemo and Wissa, amongst others, in that team. How do you see that going, Jay?
It's weird because normally I'd be rattled by this fixture, Like Brentford, even like when we were playing decent, I thought Brentford, bro, they always get a result against us somehow. And I think generally they're just a hard team to play against, isn't it? But this season, I don't think Brentford have actually been that good. I don't think they've been that good. I think they've been getting dealt with quite a bit. So the positive for me, I think, going into this Brentford game is not only have we shown that we can kind of play football against the big teams, or like we've played well against Liverpool, we've defended well against Arsenal. I think if we wanted to, we could defend and then just try and pick Brentford off. If we wanted to, I think like Poch's shown that he can do that with this team. But also, if he wants to try and blitz them like the way he did against Burnley or even Fulham in the first half, we've done it to a few teams, even West Ham in the first half. I know we lost that game 3-1, but in the first half, we should have been out of sight against West Ham. I think if we scored a penalty, we go on to win the game. But yeah, I think it will be a game where I think we'll be quite comfortable against Brentford, especially with no Ivan Toney. I just don't see. You saw Thiago Silva the other day. I know he's 39, but guy was on the pitch against Arsenal, and it's like, it's like he's getting younger, bro. Like it's ridiculous what he's doing. So I just don't see what striker's actually gonna rattle them enough. I know Mbuemo is a bit of a handful at times, but again, Gusto against Martinelli, it's like I'm quite comfortable and I'm quite confident with the players we have 1v1 with a lot of players at the moment. So yeah, I'm confident for this game, man, and I'm hoping that it's kind of like another Burnley game where we do kind of rack up some goals and then get confident, because we got tough fixtures coming up after Brentford. Like I know we got Spurs soon. I know we got Newcastle soon, and those are big fixtures for us as well, massive fixtures, because not only do we need the 3 points, but we're taking it off teams that it's going to benefit us massively if we can take 3 points off those teams. Because then all of a sudden it doesn't look like, I think we're 10 points adrift of top at the moment. And I think we're about 5 or 6 from top 4. I think a lot of that changes if we kind of beat Brentford convincingly and then go on to kind of get some good results from there. So I reckon it'll be like maybe I don't think we're conceding like that, to be honest with you. So I think it might be like a 2-0.
2-0. Okay, so 2-0 to Chelsea on the weekend is Jay's prediction. Arsenal, I'm not going to go into that because you've got Sheffield United. Just pick a scoreline, man. Just pick a number out. What's it going to be?
Should be like a 3-0 or
4,
something.
5.
I don't think we're that fluid.
It could be anything.
Let's hope for an upset, innit? Let's hope for an upset.
But you know what I mean? Because we should have beat Spurs. Apparently, we should have beat Chelsea. So I'm not 1000% confident.
Surely Arteta gives them the hairdryer treatment though, and then just says, "Yo, listen, you have to deal with this team." Because I think at some point it will click. Do you know what I mean? I think
also he played Champions League with Jesus. He did all right.
Yeah, exactly.
No, so one thing I will say though, in regards to I want to see Ramsdale start because he bought me with the whole we have 2 number 1s, we don't have a number 2, and it looks like he's just forgot about Ramsdale and played Raya. So for you to be true to your word and not be a liar, Ramsdale needs to start getting some important.
Yeah, but you're forgetting one thing though. You need to trust the process. Yeah, just trust the process, Chinks. It will all be fine. So Chinks is going with a 3-0, hopefully, but it could be 4 or 5. We don't know. I think Arsenal breeze that game, to be honest with you. Then we've got the likes of Manchester City and Manchester United at Old Trafford. This is the fixture of the weekend for me. Obviously, we've got Crystal Palace on the Friday, but for me, that game at Old Trafford on Sunday is the one. How do you see that going, Ashley? Give us a prediction, man.
You're confident.
You know,
you're confident, yeah?
No, you know what? I'm gonna be honest. I think it's gonna be a nasty game. I think it's gonna be very one-way dominated. Do you know what I'm saying? And however, I do think we've got chances in it. I think we're gonna get chances, but I think the midfield is too much for us. I still got nightmares of Nunes playing against us this season, and now he's gone to City. When we played them in Wolves' first game, he ran through us, absolutely destroyed us.
Who you got fit, Ash?
Casemiro will be back.
Amrabat as well.
So it'll be Bruno, but Rodri's back. You know, Rodri's back, and
okay. I was gonna say
Kovacic has been amazing. He's been absolutely quality, Kovacic. You know what I'm saying?
Man,
but okay, I was gonna give a score. I think it's gonna be 3-1. 3-1 to City.
Højlund versus Haaland, yeah?
Huh?
Højlund versus Haaland, yeah?
Don't beg.
You know what though?
It's disgusting.
I don't rate. I think Haaland without the goals, he just looks like an above average John Carew. I'm sorry. I just don't.
You know what?
I'm sorry.
It doesn't matter though. It doesn't matter.
He scores goals. When he's clinical, he's clinical. He's clinical when he's clinical. Yeah. And I'll give him that. Yeah. Right. But it's just.
You know what? He does what he says on the tin, innit? Like, you don't need your striker to be fancy or brilliant, or you know what I'm saying?
It just needs to bang the goals in.
Listen,
if he does score goals, he's obviously quality because he's obviously scores goals. Yeah, but I'm not all for those sort of players. You know what I mean? I need to see more.
He's like a typical old school striker, ain't he? He does what he says, you know, works off the last man, gets into spaces, and you know, that's all you want him to do.
Yep, exactly. So we're going with 3-1 to Manchester City on the weekend.
I reckon that'll be a draw, you know.
Not looking.
Chinks, I hope so.
Draw's a good shout. Draw could be.
City will take the lead early, and Man U will claw it back at the end.
You know, if the players want to have that kind of moment, that turning point of the season, it would be to turn up against Man City. That's what it would be. We're not talking about Copenhagen, Sheffield. If you want to turn up for the fans, turn up against the City.
What do you reckon United can stick it out? Do you reckon United would just do a low block or not? They'll play their own.
No.
Counter attack, low block, counter attack, quick transitions.
That's not United. United wouldn't do that.
Quick transition, quick.
That's where they're most effective.
You know what? You know what the thing is as well. Obviously, I know you're doing your predictions. I don't think Hodgson and Rashford. There's a problem there. I don't think Rashford works well with Hodgson. And you know what it is, yeah. You know, if you look at the strikers that Rashford's played with, if you look at the man like Falcao, who else did he play with up tops?
The guy on loan,
and Cavani. We played he typically never plays well with them type of strikers, but he plays well with the strikers like the Martials, the Weghorst, the ones that will drop deep, pull man out. You know what I'm saying? Because Rashford, he ain't clever. He ain't that clever player like Salah or a Hazard or one of the or Mahrez. He's that player. He wants to work on a one-on-one. Give him space to cut inside. Bam. That's his type of game. Where,
well,
you know,
actually, he must be doing something right because he's getting his own line of boots with Nike. So, yeah, you know, must be doing something right.
Listen, I like Rashford though. I like him. You know, so
I'm disappointed in him. I'm disappointed in him. I've got to be honest. I think he had a great season last season. I thought, yeah, okay, mate. Yeah, good, great. Let's see what you do next season. Yeah, he actually was really good. He was one of the standout players for Man United last season. Yeah, this season he's just it's again going on consistent. You get what I'm saying. One thing I will say about Harry Kane, even though I kept on saying he was a loser, he scored goals and he was consistent. You know what I mean? You know, and that's what it's all about.
You can't even compare Harry Kane to Rashford.
I know. But the point I'm making is
Harry Kane is on the next level. You know what I'm
but
saying?
the point I'm making is though, Ashley, is that when you do this one season, you move it on a little bit further. You know what I mean?
That's been Rashford's problem every single season. But we know typically his best seasons has been playing with either Martial when Martial's been fit, or Weghorst at the type of, you know, those have been his best seasons. And last season, we literally, as I said, it wasn't sustainable last season because we was only working off one player's brilliance, just Rashford brilliance. You know what I'm saying? And now, can they work together?
Listen, just hold the L so we can go above you, man. Just hold the L, move on, go to the next game. You go after City.
Listen. Brentford's not going to be an easy game, yeah. So we'll come back next week and we talk about the Brentford game, yeah.
So that only leaves us with Tottenham Hotspur. Really, I'm going to start with my prediction. I think it's going to be 2-1 to Tottenham Hotspur. Won't be an easy game. I know Crystal Palace have got players out, but it's never an easy game away at Selhurst Park. So 2-1 for me. I think it will set us in good stead, being 5 points top of the league before the next round of games on Saturday. What do you guys see?
I was going to say 1-0, but I think Palace will try to frustrate us by playing like low block against us. But the way Ange wasn't happy with the performance, and he's a man that likes performances and then he wants the results to follow, I reckon he gave them a little hairdryer treatment after that game because he
said he wasn't happy.
He came out and he said it. He said, "This is not what I'm about."
It was boring. I was there. It was boring.
2-0.
It was boring.
Yes.
Did you score your first goal though?
It was Son and Madison. Sorry, Son. Yeah, Son and Madison.
It was from two mistakes. And one thing I will say, Vicario is really impressive. I've got to be honest.
But Alex, those mistakes came as a result of our pressing. So it wasn't just they made a mistake and we, out of the blue. They didn't make that mistake out of the blue. We pressured them, forced them into making that mistake. So what me and Ash was talking about at the start of the show, before we had some technical issues, was that Angie's finding different ways now to sort of break teams down or get goals. One of them is press high, win the ball, force mistakes. That's how the goals came in our last game. So, it was
good. It was good. Like I said, I can tend to agree with you. I tend to agree with you, but I just felt that we were a bit lucky because they did make mistakes. But I have to give some props to Vicario because Vicario made a very crucial save on 12 minutes, and that was a crucial save. And I think this goalkeeper is making noises right now, and that's a lot for me to say that right now. Yeah, it still needs a
keeper that don't want to play football, bro. That's why he wants to play with his hands.
No, he's bedded in well because the first game I saw him, the first couple of games, I was like, wow, this keeper looks a bit shaky, but he actually looks all right now. So.
He has saved us a couple of games as well. He's made some very good saves. But just to make my prediction, I absolutely agree with you, Haz. Just treasure that moment. You know what I mean? 2-1. So we're going to have some fans, Tottenham fans, celebrating in an open top bus because we're 4 points, 4 points on top. You know what I mean? So wait and see.
You got to enjoy it, man.
Five.
5 points. 5 points, isn't it? Yeah, exactly. So
You got to enjoy it, man.
stand by. There's going to
Yeah,
be
you're
an
allowed to
open
be
top
happy.
bus for Tottenham fans celebrating that we're top of the table, 5 points ahead. Okay, back to you, Az.
It's
There you go.
interesting for Spurs,
So-
though. Yeah, interesting
So
for you.
Spurs fans, don't celebrate winning the league just yet. Don't celebrate anything. Wait until the season's done. And even if we do win the league, don't celebrate. Mr. Box Office.
Yeah. You know that. You know that.
I'm not
Thank you
going to be
very
that
much.
much of a killjoy.
Thank you very much for being such a killjoy. But look, guys, it's been fantastic having you all on tonight. Honestly, it's been such a good show. All of you brought different things to the table. Very insightful for everyone that's watching as well. Good luck to all your teams as well over the weekend with the respective teams that you're playing. And I'm sure we're going to run it back again at some point and have another discussion about where our teams are at. But for the time being, thank you very much for being part of the show. Big shout out to the chat as well. Make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you subscribe to the channel as well, like all these guys have done as well. I think they have, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
But look,
they got here.
we'll see you on the next one. Same time, same place next week, 9:30, and we're going to have some more fantastic guests on for you and more fun videos. And I don't know what Ash comes up with, but I'm sure he'll come up with something. But until then, guys,
have a good one, man.
Have a good one.
Yeah.
Come on, you Spurs.
Come on, you Spurs.